will be working with us to raise the funds needed. Okay. So let me introduce to you one of our angels. Yee! So see, Tammy, Tan, Tammy Azania Tan. From Vancouver, no, Tammy? Tama ba?
Hi, yes.
Hi.
We're
Thank you.
I'm in Coquitlam now, Metro Vancouver. Hi everyone. Ate Rose, when Ate Rose asked me if I could come on board and help, I had to say yes because it's so hard to say no to Ate Rose. And like what Claire said, I've never held $10,000 in my life, but I will work very hard to raise it because this is something that I believe in. 10, 12, 13, how many years ago? 12, maybe 13 years ago, I was a full-time worker for KLIKme. And before that, I was a volunteer. We would raise funds like with friends and whatever network we had to put up villages in Tatalon and in Bicol. And I honestly don't know how we did it, with God's help, of course. But somehow we found people who believed in what we were doing. And in that journey, I also had the opportunity to meet a lot of really good people. And Ate Rose is one of them. And when I see that she and the Geekonomics team are behind this together with all of you, so many familiar names and faces, I feel like this has to be a good thing. This and after listening to some of the facilitators, sobra akong nainggit. Honestly, so we've been here for 6 years. And it hasn't been easy. I know life would have been very different if we had chosen to stay back home. And even money and time is so limited right now. I have 4 kids. So I'm a stay-at-home mom. It's a lot of shuttling back and forth school. I have a grade 4, grade 2, coming in kinder in September, and Tom and I have a 2-year-old, almost 2-year-old. So she's been here going up and down my lap, making pasubo. So laundry's never done. Like, I don't even have time to cook all the time. Yay, spam. But somehow I feel like I have to take on this challenge. There's so much that I want to be able to do on the ground, but I know that that's not where I'm supposed to be right now. I think that's something that I've struggled with for a long time, especially if once upon a time you were a volunteer on the ground, and once upon a time you were close to the communities. Ngayon, iba na. Iba na yung buhay, iba na yung role. Hindi ibig sabihin, it doesn't mean that I have connections either, because like, even if it's been 6 years, it's only been 6 years. Parang wala masyadong friends, like compared to when you're in Manila, right? Like, it's totally different. And yet there's this nagging feeling na I still have this responsibility to do something. There's still something that I think I can give. And I have no right to say no to what is being asked of me right now. Because all of you here are giving so much. I should be able to give something as well. Even if it's the first step is putting up a GoFundMe, which is the first time I've ever done that too. And I'm like typing in the numbers and I'm like, that's a lot of zeros. Like, oh my goodness. And it's like, do I have enough friends who can give me money? Like, oh, how did we do this before? But I'm excited because I know that I'm with all of you in this journey. And extra excited because my husband is supporting me here.
Thank you, Tom.
And super duper excited because after hearing Tita Tess and about the whole mentorship program, even if my kids are still small, this is my dream for them. I was born in the States, in California. My parents moved back to the Philippines when I was 10. I'm a balikbayan. I'm part of that wave of like the families that took everyone went back in the 90s. But then when I turned 20, graduated from Ateneo, it's like go back. And so my parents send us back, and it's like, you want to go home, work, buy your ticket back if you really want. So I did. I worked at Subway. And after a few months, found myself back in Manila because I didn't want to go back to the States. Then I worked, somehow found myself in GK. But I also found my husband through KLIKme. His parents, see, my in-laws were GK volunteers as well. They were the GK heads of Camarines store, and we met at Mindanao in one of the Bayani challenges. I was in the septic tank of GK Ateneo, and somehow it worked. They introduced me to their son, who lived in Canada. But when I moved to Canada, he decided maybe it's time we go home. And so we get to go back home. And so it's a lot of going back and forth, because we went home, had 2 boys, but felt that maybe we should go back. And now we have 2 girls too. And now we're here trying to be good parents, at the same time, good Filipinos, raising our kids the way, well, hopefully to be like the kapatids that I heard speak earlier, because that's what we'd like for them to be. And hopefully we can raise that money to make this dream come true, to make it easier and better for all the facilitators, so that all the learners will be able to be equipped, become good citizens, and we can have a much better country that we don't have to leave or keep coming back to. I don't know. So many dreams, but it'll happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Tammy. My God, I really honor you. She would have had many excuses to say no, with 4 kids and all. But see, here she is. So thank you. If you can do it, many others can do too. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you. Okay. So as a final, lang for